Hello and welcome to the third week consecutive of streaming Undaunted Normandy. My name is Marty from Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and I'm very fortunate to have my co-host Tony back from a vacation last week.
Absolutely, I am here. But Marty, did you hit the line? Have you gone through the checkpoint on this? Checkpoint, Charlie?
So here's the thing: if you're watching this and something is wrong, please let me know. I think it looks okay. You guys can actually, Tony and you guys can actually watch on YouTube and see if it's working.
Yeah, there's just a little delay, so it was kind of concerning me that somebody didn't hit the live stream again.
Yeah, we're good, and we're being joined again by one of the designers of Undaunted Normandy, and that is David Thompson from Osprey Games. David, welcome again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
And so what we're going to be doing tonight is we got 3 people, but this is only a 2-player game. Now, Tony and I played the first scenario. I happened to win that one. And then Dave and I played the second scenario last week. I happened to win that one. So I'm going to finish with a winning streak and just stop at this point. So what's going to happen is Tony and Dave are going to play the third scenario tonight.
That's right.
Well, let's be very, 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 very clear.
Okay.
I'm going to try and play. If this video could be over in 5 minutes. I mean, there could be 6 victory points or 6 points taken immediately, and I won't know what happened.
Now, what's going to happen is if this is your first time watching Undaunted Normandy, as we go through the game, I'll be explaining some of the rules and everything. And thank you for the feedback from the people that are watching saying we got everything looks good. Somebody asked Tony, do you have a flow chart ready?
I do. I most certainly do. There's 4 steps to this game, so it's easy to go over.
Oh, there is? Okay.
But there's like a squirrel off-ramp on the flow chart. That's the problem.
That's right. That's right. So let's see. What we're going to be doing is, Dave, if you want to walk us through this third scenario, tell us a little bit what it's about and what the goals are, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yep. So the name of the scenario is Right Across the Canal. So this scenario is set about a week and a half after the Normandy invasion. Once again, we're following the 30th Infantry Division, and at this point, they've made it south to a key canal. The U.S. is going to wind up being just on the bank of this canal, honestly, for a couple of weeks. So the 30th is actually staying in place while some of the other units are moving around. So at this point, there's actually skirmishes going on both sides as each side moves across the canal, doing reconnaissance actions, Germans moving into U.S. territory and vice versa. So in this scenario, what we're going to try to do is control 6 objective points. You can see that the canal, all the spaces in the canal are worth at least 1 point, though the bridge is worth 3. And then there's a couple of points on the American side that's worth 2 each. So we're primarily talking about the Germans here raiding across the canal, trying to capture some key U.S. objective points.
So yeah, because it looks like there's an easy 6 points right around the Americans right now.
Right. Yeah. If the Americans are able to move to that to the sort of the farmhouses and then grab a couple on the bridge, though obviously with the Germans starting right there next to the water, it's relatively easy to block it.
Yep, that's true. All right. So if you guys want to shuffle up your decks, and who starts?
I have a question. So, David, when you research this, because I wanted to come prepared, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
I am sort of. I got my grumpy shirt on, so I'm ready to roll. So I noticed in history when I was looking this up that there were 2 that they stayed there for a month.
Yeah.
But did the 30th move out before there was a huge assault? And that's what we're simulating here. But 30 days later, was there another assault? That's what confused me a little bit because I was reading both of the history.
Yeah. So what happens is, this is taking place on June 16th. So you think about the D-Day landings. This is about 10 days after that, right? So this is actually right after the Americans have arrived at the canal, and they don't actually cross the canal until July 6th. So that's the period I'm talking about where this is kind of like right after the Americans have arrived. And then the next scenario is them crossing the canal, moving south of it.
Okay. All right. So they're pushing ahead. The Germans are trying to push back, get them, stall them.
Yep, that's right.
Until Hitler can wake up and move his tanks forward.
Yep, that's right.
Wow,
Okay.
I love the whole historical background of this. And if people are watching this have not played the game, the scenario book actually gives you all these historical details that you're playing through, which I think is really cool. All right, so if y'all shuffled your deck, who gets the initiative token on this one starting out, which is decided in the scenario?
The Germans do.
Okay.
Ooh,
All right, so let me tell you what's going to happen. The past couple of weeks, since I've been playing, you've been able to see my hand. But what I'm playing as a spectator who has no knowledge of their hand, so both of those who are watching aren't going to be able to see neither Tony or Dave's hand at this point, and we can just see how they strategically play this out. So each of them are going to draw 4 cards, and from those 4 cards, they're going to pick one to play to see who gets initiative for the turn. If you look in the upper left-hand corner of the cards, there are these numbers. Those are the initiative numbers that they're going to be used to determine initiative. And by the way, this is asymmetric decks, so both the decks are built the same way.
Did you use the right word there, Marty?
Did I say asymmetric?
You did.
If I did, I'm sorry. They are symmetric. They are the same.
Okay.
All right,
Just checking.
Let's see what we got here. So we got a Fog of War coming out from Dave's the American, right? I can't remember who's the American.
Yep, okay. That's right.
Tony said, I'm taking initiative this turn.
Well, I had it and I wanted to keep it. I wasn't sure, what he was going to do to me. Well, first one I'm going to play is a preemptive Fog of War strike.
Fog of War is basically a dead card in your deck. As you scout areas, it adds Fog of War to your deck, which don't really do anything. Likewise, scouts can add Fog of War to the opponent's deck, which is a strategy I kind of like to do a lot.
Okay. The next one we're going to drop on the table here is Squad Leader, Marty, with Bolster and Inspire. Well, obviously, Inspire's not going to do me any good, right?
Unless you got another B card in your hand that you can inspire.
Well, I don't. So we are going to bolster 2B. Yep. If I can just stop scrolling here.
So inspire means is to pick up a card you just played and play it again as if you're playing it from your hand, but it's only for a particular squad. So this is Squad Leader B, so we'd have to have a B squad card in his hand. So now he's going to go to his supply decks or cards over here and add 2 cards from the B squad to his discard pile.
Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring a rifleman in.
Uh-huh.
And a machine gunner. We're going to put the machine gunner in. Was that a groan of bad?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
By the way, Tony corrects me a lot, Tristan. I usually just edit it out of the show.
I don't correct you. I tried to keep you from saying something that's wrong.
So Platoon Sergeant, there's only one of those in the deck. He can bolster from any of his supply 3 cards, or Command, which is basically draw 2 cards from his deck and play those.
Oh, yeah. Drawing 2.
I like color commentating more than I do playing. I ain't got to think as much.
All right. So first thing we're going to do is Scout A is going to come out onto the table. All right. And we're going to Scout 2.
All right. So let me slide up here to the map. So Tony is going to take his scouts and basically move anywhere he wants. And for the other people to be able to move, they must move into scouted areas. So Tony's going to go and blaze a trail for them. But I'm sorry.
Yep.
So,
but go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Hey.
I gotta learn how to mute his mic. As he scouts areas he's not been to, he has to go add a Fog of War from the supply to his discard pile. So he'll add 1.
I will do that. I'm just going to place it right here on the scout.
Yep. And
remind us.
Move 1 more. There you go.
All right. And so we'll add another one.
Yep. And don't forget to add your scout tokens to those 2 tiles.
Mm-hmm. Gotta go dig them out.
Yep. It's the ones with the binoculars. So that's what those tokens mean, is that area's been scouted. Now the guys like the riflemen and machine gunners can move into those areas.
We bring that over there. Sorry, this is taking so long.
Awesome, Tony. And I think that's your entire play.
Nope, I got to draw 2.
Ah, sorry.
Rifleman B.
One thing I like about this game is the fact that in some of these decks, there are 2 squads. And so you got to have the right cards for the particular squad to do something. Now, many times when I've played this game, I've moved the wrong token. I would just see Rifleman and pick it up and not realize, oh, that should have been Rifleman A instead of Rifleman B or something like that. And I've had to retcon a few times.
All right. Normally, it's kind of like anything. I had 2 very good cards in my deck here with the platoon sergeant and the squad leader. That allowed me to do a lot of actions on my first turn. So in Ascension, that would be like drawing on the first turn 5 to be able to purchase. Just saying. All right. I am done.
I'm gonna start out with my platoon sergeant. I'm gonna interrupt Barty's color commentary for a second. I'm gonna make 2 comments real quick if you guys will indulge me. I'm gonna point out that this is the card that my grandfather's name is on. So that's kind of cool, right? Jack Sullivan. That's cool. That's who my son's named after. That's who I'm named after, who my son's named after. So we're both Jackson for our middle names.
Okay.
So that's Jack Sullivan. We won't see, I don't think we'll see the card that my wife's grandfather's named after, because they were both part of the 30th. Now, here's the other thing, and this is just kind of an interesting little trick, maybe. I don't know what you want to call it. You'll learn as you play through the game. So I like to decide whether or not I'm going to use my platoon sergeant to bolster or command at the very beginning of my turn. And the reason I like to do that is if I'm going to command, I always do that before I do anything else, so that I get those cards in my hand, so that I have a greater chance of having synergy between my squad leaders and my guys in my squad. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Whatever. I don't care. I played my turn.
So basically, he just passively aggressively told Tony, you played your turn wrong. That's what he said.
Well, that's not what I said. But, okay.
Tristan asked, it looks like the scout is in the corner. Does the river block access? He cannot cross the river at this point. You have to cross over the bridge.
Well, you can cross the river anywhere.
Oh, you
the
can?
River does not, the river does not block movement. Yeah. So a lot of people ask that, like, hey, does the river block movement? It does not. But what you'll see is the way we because keep in mind, like, everything about this game is super simple, right? There's no line of sight, etc. But what you'll typically find is that the bridge in almost every scenario will be like a key point from an objective perspective. But yeah, anybody can cross over the river.
Yeah, see, like I said, anybody can cross the river. It doesn't block access or anything like that. I've got this.
Well, it's a canal. It's not a river. It's a canal.
That's right. That is a canal. That's true.
It's a creek.
Yeah, a creek. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the creeks in the Carolinas right now where we've received 40 inches of rain. It's hiking and flooding.
Right.
Cool.
So, all right, he playing a scout. So he basically moved a couple spots. Going to take a couple fog of wars.
So this one was already scouted, so I'll just take one for this one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if it's already scouted, you only have to take for each new token you put out. So what he did right there, he just played the squad leader and did the Inspire. So that's the one who basically kind of picked up. Did you play the bolster, right?
For the squad leader?
You play the Inspire.
Inspire, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he basically, he picked up the scout card and played it again from his hand.
All right, now for this scout, he's going to start coming down here.
Hey, get out my tile.
Now, the problem with what I'm doing here is I've just taken a ton of Fog of War. Right?
So at this point, Dave, because of just what happened, you and I were talking about this last week about control. And when you finish your turn, would you mind going through about how a rule that you had for control, and then when the game came out, it had changed and you're trying to put it back the way it was?
Well, yeah. So right now, this space has 2 people occupying it, right? And so what that means is neither side can control this space until they have removed all of their opponents from the space, right? So the Germans cannot come in here and take control while U.S. counters in here, and vice versa. The the other rule that we had played with during the design was that you only block if you already control it and somebody comes in. So, for example, let's say I already control this space. You could not come in and take control unless you remove me. So that's a little bit of a nuanced difference. But what it means is right now, in that earlier design concept, either rifleman could come in and take control of it because it's not being controlled right now by either side.
And in North Africa, the new version, are you going to go back to that format?
We are, yeah. So we're going to go back to that. So either whoever comes in here can control it, regardless of who's in it. But once it's controlled, the side that controls it blocks control from the other side, unless all their pieces have been removed. So we have changed that rule to be updated in North Africa.
Okay.
So right now I could not control it, right?
Neither one of us can control it until we remove the other person.
Gotcha.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. They're both going to draw 4, but Tony is playing with his deck over there instead of moving over and shuffling. I don't know what he's doing.
I was doing exactly what you told me to do.
So it's initiative time. And if there's a tie, the person who had an initiative last turn will keep it.
All right.
All right.
Tony's thinking. Deep thought. He's got 3 cards. What order does he want to play them in?
Absolutely. All right. So Rifleman B, who should be right here.
He is.
Here's on tile 4A, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to attack the scout. So that's 1 plus 5 defense for 6. The tile provides no benefit. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
So he's counting the number of tiles he is away from himself. That adds up defense. And then the defense value on the tile, which is 5. And if there was any natural defense from the tile, you'd add that in too. So now Tony has to roll a 6 or higher to deal damage. But he rolled a 5.
Ooh, look at that.
You should have seen my rolls last week, Tony. It was ridiculous. Ridiculously good is what it was. It's like, oh, I need to roll a 9 or a 10. 10. It was just crazy.
All right. So Scout B is going to move 1, 2, Fog of War, and place a token.
So these tokens up here, I don't know what you said, are basically the objective point. So if Tony can control that tile, 18A, he'll get 3 of the 6 objective points. He needs to win the game.
And then squad leader A is going to bolster the machine gunner. And one thing, I'm not very good at this. And whoops, what are you doing? Why'd you spin that card, you stupid machine? And a rifleman. And I am done.
All right. Start with this juicy Fog of War. My squad leader is going to bolster, and he's going to grab a scout and a rifleman for B squad. And my rifleman A is going to start heading this way.
He's going out to the farm tile.
That's it for me. I'm trying to put as much pressure on Tony as possible to get those 6 points. Be done. As fast as I can.
So Tristan asked, do you get any bonuses from other things to reduce that number? So I know one thing I can just say real quick is you've noticed on the machine gunner, he's attacking for 2. So you get, that's number of dice that you roll. So there are some units that get to roll more dice than others, which helps. Is there anything else there, David, that'll help?
No, that's really it. You really, our position is big, right? So you really want to get in a place like, the Germans have this awesome forest right here, which is great for once you get your machine gunner out, hiding here. So getting inside those terrain tiles and just closing the distance. That's really the only way you're going to improve your odds. And then, like you just said, that's really when suppression is huge, rolling 4 dice.
And we'll talk about suppression when that happens.
Yeah.
It's easy when you get initiative. It's really on the onus of the other person to play a decent card to try to take it back. It seems.
Yeah, and it really depends. It's it's kind of scenario dependent, and there's kind of an arc to it. Oftentimes, early on, you're not as concerned, right? So you'll see people playing a lot of Fog of War early, and then the game will kind of pivot to where you're desperate to win it, especially early on, right?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, though. I noticed bad draw, Tony. Mm-hmm. There's 3 of them. Jeesh. Means a good hand's coming up later, though.
Rifleman B, he's attacking the scout again.
So still looking for a 6 or higher?
Yep.
So Rifleman B going after this one. He tosses it up, and he got a 7. So walk us through what happens step by step here, Dave, when you take damage.
Yeah, so the first thing I'll do is, since Tony, and this is a huge part of initiative, right? So Tony wins initiative. It means he's going to get first crack at shooting at my hand. Now, he doesn't know what's in it, but you can do, if you're really good at tracking cards and stuff, you can track what's in your opponent's discard pile and figure out what's the likelihood of knowing what's in their hand. But you would target their hand first. If it's not in their hand, they would look in their discard pile. If there's none of that card in their discard pile, they look in their draw deck. And if it's in none of those places, the counter would come off the board. If they do have some of those cards still in their supply, and later on they were to bolster those cards back into their deck and play them again, the counter will come back out at the spawn point.
Yep.
So now this is where it's brutal. I had the scout be in my hand.
Yep. And that card goes out of the game. That's important. That's it. You've got a limited number of cards of each type, and once all those cards are gone, basically that token's off the board, never coming back again.
Yeah, and it's especially bad because it's my scout. My scouts have already done their job, right? They've already gotten the places I wanted to scout scouted. So really what I wanted to do with them now is burn through all my Fog of War. So my plan was to recon this Fog of War out of my deck. Mm-hmm. I can't do that anymore unless I happen to draw a scout. So I'm going to command 2, hoping to draw a scout.
Which is draw 2.
Watch this. Here comes the horseshoe.
All right. So now we're going to play this scout that I drew to recon this Fog of War out.
So you get to do one of these 4 actions. He's going to do the recon, which pulls the Fog of War, again, out of the game, not back to his supply. Very important. And
this was a beautiful draw, because now I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to inspire the scout into my hand, play him again, recon this other Fog of War out, and then I've got another one. So basically all I've done this turn is gotten rid of 2 Fog of War, which I'm super happy with.
Yep. That's the really cool deck building part of the game that I like, because, in a lot of deck building games, and I've brought this up before, there's just junk in your deck. And it's like, how do you get rid of it? Well, you cull your deck with the scout by using the recon action. And by the way, you can also, I forget the term, Dave, if you just want to take a card and put it, hunker down, you can take a card from your hand and put it back into the supply and call it hunker down if you want to modify your deck. So let's say you are done with the scouts, right? You could just sit there and say, I'm going to start hunkering down the scout cards and make sure just my heavy hitters are left in there.
Yep, that's right.
By the way, if you're watching and enjoying what you're seeing, if you give us a little thumbs up, if you're not subscribed, please do so. Thanks for those that are hanging around. To watch Tony get a beat down over here?
I'm doing the good old command there, or whatever it is.
To draw 2?
Draw 2. Mm-hmm. This time I played him first. See, I learned. So I'm going to take Rifleman A, and I am going to move him. He only has a movement of 1, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to move there.
And again, remember with Riflemen, they can only move into areas that's already been scouted. So he's good.
And then let's bring that one back. We're going to play Machine Gunner.
Ah.
And let's see, we would want to do we have the Machine Gunner tokens on the board here, Marty? We do not.
So you will place him. Where they must be right here. Here they go. And he's Machine Gunner A or B?
He is a Machine Gunner B.
So here he is.
Where is what's he grabbing, Marty? I can't speak with you.
Here you go. They have them, all the extra ones up here at the top of the table in these bags.
Ah,
so when you use it for the first time, he spawns in your spawn location, and you still get an action.
And that's what this all is for. This means all of Tony's stuff would spawn in here. But there are certain situations, that's what these tokens are over here, that would show where certain squad members would spawn from.
I'm sorry, I said that was, the B. So I'm going to play the squad leader Inspire. I'm going to bring the Machine Gunner back in my hand, play it again.
Now when you played it the first time, he would have gotten an action. Just you play the card, he comes out, and he gets an action.
Well, good, because I wanted him to move.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Now he's dug in. It's going to be hard to get.
And then we're going to attack 2. Or no. Yeah. Let's just do that. Let's just attack and just show what kind of dice crap I got going on here.
So now Tony gets to roll 2 dice. So what you're still looking for? Basically a 5-6, correct?
Actually, 6. I'm going to go after I can attack the Rifleman, can I?
Sure.
But then it's going to be 7. No, it's going to be 7 because we're 2 tiles away. 2 plus 4, 6 plus the cover of there as a 7.
Right. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll roll this first one right here.
There's 1 hit.
Ooh. Nice.
Do I get to try to hit it if his brother's hunkered down? Do I get to shoot him too?
Well, you mean because you got 2 hits?
No, I just got 1. I haven't rolled the second one.
Well, it doesn't matter how many successes you get.
Right.
Yeah. So now, once again, out of hand.
Oh, but he's probably got 3 more.
Yeah, so regardless of the number of hits that you have, you're only going to do 1 damage. And so there's a question for you from Tristan over there, Dave. I don't know if you saw it. It says, from a historical perspective, would this combat zone have had any civilians or animals that the soldiers would have had to deal with?
So right in this specific scenario, no, not really. This canal area was really remote. Now, there are scenarios, and the scenarios don't really deal with this, but there's some times where they get close to some bigger cities. And absolutely, they would have civilians. Now, they tried to do a pretty good job of letting people know when large attacks were coming, but I mean, the amount of devastation the artillery and airstrikes were dealing was incredible. So tons of civilians got injured and killed during those operations. But in this specific scenario, no. Because I have fog of war and someone shot my rifleman that was about to control this, how about I take a rifleman A and a scout A?
Don't do anything about this.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before I wanted to mention something about this rifleman you shot, and you might want to rethink this. So this squad leader is C.C. Arrington. That's the guy that was named after my wife's grandfather. So that's
cool.
fine. You didn't shoot him, but let's talk about the guy you did shoot. This is Matt Dunstan, who is the designer of Elysium. What are some other Pioneer Days, Professor Evil in the Citadel of Time. So he's part of the same design group that I was part of in Cambridge, and so
Oh,
we
wow.
named one of the squads have a bunch of designers' names after them. So that's Matt Dunstan you just killed. So just keep that in mind when you shot.
That's awesome. By the way,
By chance, do you have any like I gotta be careful because I don't want people think.
By the way, I love the art on the cards. I think it is so stylistic and done so well. It's simplistic, but still it's very colorful and it just looks good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. I love it.
This is not what I wanted to have happen.
Oops, sorry.
Need to think about something here.
Yep, go ahead. And so for those who are watching may not know, there's actually a new Undaunted that's going to be coming out, I believe in June, North Africa. That's going to be it's a standalone, so you don't need this original box. That's going to be in a whole different area, different campaign, but this is going to add vehicles. So that's going to be a new element. It's going to be coming out. And we talked about it before we started the stream, that maybe next Thursday night, us showing how North Africa works. Next week will be the first time Osprey Games, who makes this, is allowing people to show it. So we may have Dave come on and teach us new mechanics from that one.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited.
All right. So let's see how we're going to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that either.
This is how it is playing with Tony at the table. He talks to himself constantly.
Constantly. All right, here we go.
Ooh, okay. Still win it.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play Rifleman A out on the table. Take this Rifleman, move him up here. Then we're going to inspire and take the Rifleman back into my hand.
Here we go.
Nice.
And then we're going to bring him back out on the table. We're going to do a control.
And by the way, you never, there it is. So one of the Rifleman's things is be able to take control of a spot. And so he flips it over. So now Tony has earned 3 of his 6 points he needs to win the game. Even though it's into control, that doesn't mean Dave can't come over and take it back.
That's right. Machine Gunner B, who's positioned in the forest, is going to suppress the Rifleman.
All right, I'll give you these other 2 dice.
By the way, Tony, with I don't know if you know this, you can drag and draw a box around all these, then right-click and roll and do them all at once.
Oh, thank you. Bam, bam, bam. And then hit roll.
Yep. There you go.
Look at that.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Wow.
That's hey, so what happened was he was sitting there, he had a bead, and some geese flew over from Canada and did an air bomb. Made him throw the fire. I mean, boom, he was shooting in the air. I don't know. Maybe he saw an airplane. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
He turned his machine gun into an anti-aircraft weapon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Really?
All right, I am going to recon this Fog of War out and draw for it. Oh man. So I have a tough decision. I don't know to command to or to try to bolster my deck because I've been wailed on quite a bit here. I think I'm going to bolster. I'm going to get 1 Rifleman A, 2 Rifleman Bs, and then another Fog of War, and that's it for me.
Wow, they draw up. David Turner says, I've got the North Africa pre-order on my card at Miniature Market trying to pull the trigger, but wondering if I'm ever going to get to play it against people anytime soon. I totally get that. I will say that Undaunted Normandy was hot and sold out. So if you think you can get it, I would get it and at least sit on it because it may be hard to get later on. Again, for those who don't know, Undaunted Normandy did win Best War Game for Golden Geek. There's been a lot of demand for it. Dave, can we say what printing that you're on for Normandy?
Yeah, the 3rd printing now.
Yeah.
So it's a 3rd printing, and that's since it came out when last summer, right? So less than a year. So that's pretty good.
Yep. So it's selling like hotcakes. So if you think you can pre-order North Africa, which I think is going to be even, I'm very interested in that just because of the vehicle mechanic, and I cannot wait to show y'all how that works. It's going to be so cool. Actually, the rules are on BGG right now for North Africa, aren't they?
They are. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So you can go see how the vehicles can actually put tokens of the different units inside the vehicles, and depending on where they're sitting, they can do different things. Drive it, shoot it.
Hey, color commentator.
Yeah.
You just missed some key aspects here while you were sitting there selling the product.
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened here?
All right.
Well,
So
unfortunately, somebody had a fog of war and needed to do a little deck manipulation, and he couldn't, and the fog of war came out, and somebody played an initiative and took it from him finally. Not saying who, but yeah. So I don't have initiative anymore.
Oh, okay.
all right. So Chris
That's
Marlin
a big
comes
thing.
out.
Okay, me.
Now Chris Marling, Rifleman B, he's going to do two things. He's controlling, but Chris Marling is actually another designer from that same group, and he is the guy that I designed my very first game with, called Armageddon, which is a game that Queen published.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So Chris Marling comes out and grabs that, and then the other Rifleman B is going to charge forward.
Uh-oh.
And then the squad leader B is going to have him take a shot at the scout right here.
So, and when you're in the same tile, you don't worry about distance. So it's strictly just defense. He needs a 5 or higher and pulls a 4.
Unreal.
That's
right.
it for me.
Sorry. Jeez,
So I'm trying to get
going
to this
control
tile
zone.
now. If I can get to this tile and control it, that's it.
You need only 6, though, right?
Well, I started with 2, so I've got 4 so far. So I need 2 more.
Right.
Yeah, so you better be making a beeline to the upper right-hand corner, is what he's saying.
I know. Or I can also just move Fog of War over. But that's 2 runs. Yeah.
Move Fog of War over. I don't know what that means.
Don't worry about it. God. Machine Gunner A's coming out. Go up here, grab a token. Okay. How did you do that?
Oh, out of the bag?
Yeah.
If you right-click on the bag and do search, you'll see all the tokens in it. And then you can just left-click, hold, and drag out of that list of items onto the board.
Okay, cool.
Are all the scenarios in this brick-like configuration? I believe they are, right, Dave?
Yeah, they are. So you've got 18 tiles like this in the game, and all of them are in this offset configuration. And the reason for that is by doing them in this offset way, you are essentially creating a hex grid, but they're squares, right? So you get all the benefits of them being a hex, meaning all the ways they're adjacent to, each one is adjacent to 6 other tiles. And so it does interesting things like presenting a lot more interesting move options and attack options and things like that, but still having the square, which is a lot easier for aligning tiles and for art and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Wow, that was really cool. I never thought of it like that, about it being basically a hex-based system, but with squares. And now that you said it, I can see that now. He's smart, Tony. That's why we don't design games.
No, it's exactly the same thing as a hex grid, but with squares. So it's kind of a cool thing. I'm surprised more games don't use it, honestly.
Tony's doing shenanigans over here. So he just moved a rifleman up in here. And I bet he's going to inspire that rifleman.
He is.
Where are you going?
Up 1.
You can't.
You
have to scout that
Well, I
area.
got this stupid thing, yeah.
Stupid thing.
I got a scout up there.
You can take a pot shot here.
I could. I don't know why.
All right,
We're going to take a pot shot at the rifleman.
Oh yeah. So you need a 4 or higher. You got a 60% chance of hitting here, dude. 60%. There it is.
All right, I have them in hand, so I'm going to go through my discards, grab them from there.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know, Tony. As you're looking up here, you haven't lost anybody, and yet you've taken out 3 of his guys.
It's not about that. It's about controlling. And I didn't move.
It's about attrition too. What you're doing.
Arg. All right, let's see what crap I got this time.
So Dave Turner said, "Darn it, Marty, not going to have another box to stare at, not play. I guess it's not like I'm going to be able to spend money Origins anyway." That's correct. If you're not going to any conventions, look at the money you're saving on hotels, food, travel. Stock up, baby.
That's right. That's exactly right. I've bought so many war games that I'll never play over the last couple of months.
Oh, Tony said, "I am taking initiative this time."
Wow. Holy cow.
So speaking of which, because a lot of people are staying home now, have you guys, you and Trevor Benjamin, the other designer, looked at possible ways to do a solo type thing with this mechanic or with this game?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So 2 things to think about with that question. First of all, we had no idea that so many people would like to play it solo, but there's a huge solo wargamer Facebook page that it's been super popular with. And it actually, I don't know if you know this or not, it won the One Player Guild's top multiplayer game to be played solitaire this year. So they had awards for that. And so it was like the most popular solitaire game that's not a solitaire game, if you will.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. When we designed North Africa, we actually gave the design for North Africa to Osprey before Normandy even had come out. So in other words, it was done a year and a half ago. So we had no idea when we were designing North Africa that the solo system would be popular. All I will say, I can't say anything. All I will say is that Osprey has noticed that it is popular with solo players.
That sounds good. David, you hear that? He can't say anything. But somebody knows it's popular, so who knows? I mean, I'm speculating. I know nothing. Who knows? They may come out with something that they release on BGG or online. They just say, "Hey, if you happen to have this game, here's a rule set that you can do." Just saying, that's a possibility.
And a lot of people have come up with AI bots and their own sort of like solitaire systems that they're playing. So.
Rifleman B is attacking your other rifleman here, if I card counted correctly. Hold on, I'm checking.
I'm sorry. What are you doing, Tony? So Rifleman B is hitting. There's your Rifleman B.
I had a scout, so I moved my scout up into the upper right corner.
Oh, you sure did. Yep, smart.
And then I'm counting cards. Okay. I'm looking good. So my rifleman's going to shoot his rifleman.
Okay.
B.
Yep.
Or whatever that rifleman is he has in that square, Rifleman B. So we're rolling. The 9 came up last time, so we're going to go over here where the 3 is.
Uh-huh. Got it.
Ooh, yeah. Rifleman B.
So Tristan asked, what about layouts? Are there thinner or longer ones? Or does each scenario have the same kind of layout with just tiles in different places? From the ones I've seen, they are different map shapes. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. There are some that are really long and some that are, just kind of like this, where it's all kind of about the same. Definitely different map shapes. And we do that, obviously, for both thematic and gameplay reasons, right? Like you might be trying to defend something and create choke points and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, definitely a lot of variety.
Sign me up when we're trying to take Midway.
Yeah. All right. So Tony did the exact perfect thing, right? He came in and blocked this, which is the way I was going to win. My Scout A is going to take a shot at your Scout B. Let's see if we can pull this off.
So you need a 5-6.
Oh. All right. He's useless.
His sight was off just a little bit. He went to the Mayberry Fair and got the wrong gun.
What?
For those who have no idea.
I have no idea.
Where Opie goes to try to win Andy a razor at the fair.
I do not remember that episode of Andy Griffith Show. For those who's wondering what he's talking about, it's the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, my goodness.
That takes place in Mayberry, North Carolina.
You don't remember that one where Opie, the carnival's there, and they're trying to convince Opie to. They bring him up. He shoots everything, and then he goes back and he tries to win the razor, and then Andy has to go in, and he wins Helen all the stuffed animals because he's the sheriff, and he goes in incognito, goes undercover, and figures out the site. Good one. It's up there with Darlin, the Darlings.
Did you ever watch Andy Griffith there, Dave?
I did watch it in reruns when I was a kid. I did. Yep. I'm gonna use my squad leader to have my scout recon that fog of war out.
Mm-hmm.
Now with my rifleman A, he's going to advance.
Yeah.
And then rifleman B is going to do what I should have done to begin with. I'm going to go back here to protect this. I don't want to leave that open. Okay.
And now, if I have Fog of War in my discard pile, can a scout get rid of that, or does it have to be in your hand?
Has to be in your hand. Yeah.
And see, Marty, that's something that's not working well for me right now. My Fog of Wars are not coming in my hand with my scouts.
Why don't you draw a new hand and see if it comes in?
Oh, I know it's coming in.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I will say, Tony, you never bolstered any scouts, so you're relying on 2 scouts in your deck to sync up with your Fog of War, which can be tough, right? So one thing I like to do early is just bolster extra scouts, have them grind through Fog of War, recon through Fog of War, and then when I'm done with them, I'll just hunker them down.
You know, you could have told me this 45 minutes ago.
So we're going for initiative now?
Oh, I'm sorry. What am I doing?
You're savoring your win. You're prolonging your win.
All right. Tony keeps initiative.
So I have 1 Fog of War, 2 Fog of Wars, and Scout A is going to get rid of that Fog of War.
There you go.
Nice. Well, you get to shuffle the deck before you draw from it, right? And draw 1 card to replace that Fog of War.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot about that rule.
I do too. So what he meant was whenever you do a recon and get rid of a Fog of War, a benefit is you get to draw a card to replace it, which is very nice and one I tend to forget a lot for some reason. Tony, somebody asked, how many plays of this have you had so far? Do you know?
Oh, let's see. Online, this will be number 2. I'd say at least 3 or 4, because we played it when it first came out a couple times, and we played it, I think, 1 lunch meeting, if I remember correctly. If not, I'm old. I don't remember a lot. So Rifleman B is going to take a scout shot at this scout right here.
Mm-hmm. Need a 5. There's roll to a 7.
And Scout B, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I would love to play a lot more.
Okay, Rifleman A is coming in. And then Rifleman A is going to take a shot at Scout B. There we go.
8. Yep.
All right, so Scout B. Let's see, I have no cards in my hand. I remember correctly. Oh, come on. There's Scout A, so I guess where he's at. It's through your discard pile right first.
Yep.
Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And so now I have to go through my draw deck.
And you can, if you want, you can right-click on your deck and do search, and you'll be able to see everything in your deck at once and pull it out that way.
Well, that is just spiffy. See how we're learning this? At least I am. Oh, no, we can't, because I have no clue. That is too small. My gosh, could they I need to go get my glasses, Martin. There's machine gunner, squad leader. Oh, look, they see. This is kind of cool. I'm learning something about this beautiful system.
Oh my gosh! Would you hurry up and discard a card?
Right, Scout B, right?
That's right.
Yep.
All right, there he is. Scout B is gone. Wouldn't be so bad. Okay, what else is going on here? I'm losing. Play machine gunner A.
All right, you got it.
My initiative. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, Mister. What did you play, David?
I played a Fog of War.
Okay. Squad leader B. Maybe a little late, but we'll put some scouts in here. And we'll put a rifleman in there. Fog of War.
How in the world do you stack your card? What is going on over there?
It got twisted somehow. It rotated.
Hit the Q or the E and it rotates it.
Yeah, the Q or A. Oh, is that how that happens? Okay. And then rifleman A.
Which is
Right there.
Yep.
Move.
Yep.
All right.
I'll show you another trick, Tony. If you draw a box around all these different cards that aren't together and press G, it'll snap them all together. So if you ever have a bunch of stuff that's kind of you want to have all in a deck and it's not together, so it's kind of nice.
It also helps if you grab them all at the same time.
Okay, here's the moment of truth.
Uh-oh. Here we
all
go.
Right, Rifleman A. He's going to take a shot at Scout B.
Yep.
I need some good shots to pull this off. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Well, I can't win this turn. Rifleman A takes another shot. Oh, he misses again. And I'll inspire him to take another shot.
Yep. You would have had it if you'd have hit. There
That's
you
right.
go. You got one.
Yeah.
We know he put one in the discard pile.
That's right, yeah.
Well, that bites. So you hit my... So another scout B has to come out. Awesome.
That's right.
A good thing you added it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Because
what would have happened, Marty?
Because if you hadn't and you didn't have any cards in your deck or discard, that token would come off the board, leaving that spot wide open to be taken.
Mm-hmm. Everybody online sitting here thinking, "Oh my gosh, hurry up!"
Going for initiative again. It's getting kind of tense at this point. Dave said, I am going first this time. I'm going
Let's
first.
see what we can do here. So we're going to have this scout recon this Fog of War out.
Yep. Draw
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
All right, Rifleman B He's going to take a long shot. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Wow.
5. He needs a 10 shot.
Wow, you're going to actually do it, huh?
Well, if nothing else, he's really. I mean, he can take a shot here, but this is for the win. So he's going to take this 10% chance for the win. Here we go. Oh, I can't complain about it though. And then Rifleman A is going to take the shot.
Yep.
He would have cleared it if he had made the crazy shot.
Got
Oh, come on, Rifleman A.
What was that? Oh, that's
The
a
1.
1. Oh, I thought it was a 7.
It's gun jammed.
Critical fail.
Fog of War. This is going to be fast play. Rifleman B. He is going to take a shot at Rifleman. Is that a Rifleman B over here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Taking a Rifleman B, so that's a 5. 4, nothing.
Y'all shooting like stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not good. It's not pretty.
I'm making people dizzy because I'm zooming all over the place. Sorry about that. Keep going in and out and back. And what's that one fog of war sitting there, Tony?
It didn't carry over. No, I did the other one. Sorry.
It's all right. Big decision here.
Darn it.
Okay.
Doing it again.
Scout A takes a shot.
So Scout A is.
He's over here taking a shot at Scout B.
Yep. Way up there in the corner.
There he goes. Nice.
So you start with your hand, Tony.
No, nothing in the hand.
Okay.
So now we go to the discard.
Yep.
I'm looking for a Scout B.
Yep.
There shouldn't be one.
There is not one.
Yeah. So that token comes off the board.
What? Maybe there's one in my draw deck, huh?
Well, there's 1 here and 2 here.
Are you counting, man?
I'm counting
He's
cards.
counting.
All right, here we go.
If he has a
Four to
rifle,
10.
uh-oh.
Got a command 2.
If he
If I
draws
draw
it,
one, we've got it.
yep. He's looking
There
for
he
it.
is.
Yeah, that's it. So with
Good
Rifleman
game.
A, he'll take control, which gives him the 6 points and the win.
That was a good game.
Thank you for being cordial.
So let's look at the ranking so far. So I'm 2-0. Dave's 1-1. Tony's 0-2. Just saying.
Are you going to come out of retirement, though? That's the question.
I don't know. No,
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens next week with North Africa. So let's see. Yeah. So North Africa, would it be the first scenario or the second scenario?
So what Osprey is going to do is we're going to make the second scenario a demo scenario that anybody can play. So anybody can go on a TTS and they can get access to it. And it's all the full res art and stuff. I built it for Osprey, so everybody's gonna have access to that. And then reviewers like you guys will have access to scenario 4 and 5. So any of those 3 scenarios we could choose from to play.
Great. Well, Dave, thanks again for showing us that again. If you're just now jumping in towards the end, we've been playing Undaunted Normandy. This is from Osprey Games. This came out last year. It's won a lot of different awards. It won one of our Squirrely Awards that Tony and I gave away for 2-player games. It's supposed to come back out in June.
Yep.
If you want to go out and try to grab a pre-order somewhere. But the follow-up version, North Africa, will also be coming out in June. A very solid 2-player game. A lot of people are sitting around their house right now looking for something to play, and this is great to play with somebody sitting around in your house. If you like deck building games, I tell you, it's one of those things that I love the deck building mechanic, and this just uses it in a very unique way.
Can I flip the stupid table?
Go for it.
Flip the table. There he goes. All right, Tony, got anything you want to say on the way out?
This game was awesome.
See what I deal with all the time?
Oh, you don't deal with anything. This is all good stuff here. No, appreciate it, Mr. Thompson. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody being patient with me on this. It's not being part of, using tabletop simulator, so it's always a grind. As we get better, as the more we play.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, thanks for having me. It's fun, man. Love hanging out with you guys and playing. So it's great.
Fantastic. And again, thanks for everybody that are watching. If you want to give a thumbs up on the way out, if you've enjoyed what you saw, give us a thumbs up. Give us a sub. And if we do this again next Thursday, it'll probably be about the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And look, I think I got through the stream without any technical issues. We got it up and running, got 3 people on, so thumbs up on this side.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks again. Have a fantastic night.